Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Night Live. We are happy that you are able to join us live. Of course, this session will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel, Dr. Natalie Nash 4377. Just type the name in and it would pop up in YouTube. And there you would have a listing of all of the previous sessions which we have held. I trust that you have had a wonderful week, and I give God thanks for your presence. Just being here, being alive, is a lot to give God thanks for. So let us begin with a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day, this moment that you have blessed us with. And we ask that as we are about to get into a discussion, that it would be meaningful, helpful to many. This is our prayer in Jesus' name, amen. Our topic of discussion, lose the weight without losing the plate. And how can that happen? How can we achieve that? If you look at the picture, many times we get on that scale and it's a mysterious approach as to what the scale would say. It say that I'm heavy or I'm at my ideal weight or lower. And then if it is that it indicates that you are too heavy, that might be troubling to you. And you might actually think, well, I just need to go on a fruit diet and maybe I'll achieve what I'm looking for. Or maybe I'll just not eat and drink some water and eat very little and achieve that objective. But we want to show you that no, you can actually eat up some food, be satisfied, be full, and yet not put on that excess weight. So this is a part 2 of a session we started 2 weeks ago, and we will be concluding on this topic today. I want to just let you know that I'm speaking to you from True Health Lifestyle Center, located in Trinidad and Tobago. Here we are about supporting individuals in their healing of whole person, body, mind, and spirit. A couple of announcements. We do have our diabetes support group, and that happens next week, Tuesday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. We also have our cancer support group, which happens this week on Thursday, 27th, and that's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time will be a little earlier, 5:30 p.m. This is Caracas time. And however, we will be meeting and look forward to a very informative session. Those sessions are meant for individuals to really have connect and discussion. I had someone in our diabetes support group share her testimony just last week about getting better numbers, and she's going to be coming on next week, Tuesday, to discuss and share with us what she's been doing, and individuals would get to ask their questions. So even for the cancer support group, the idea is this is what I'm doing. These are the results I'm seeing. It seems to be improving. My numbers are coming down. Or I'm having a challenge, and throw it out there. And let's work that through together. And then we have our upcoming retreat, Renew Retreat, Fix Me Before Year End, please. So that starts on Sunday, and just looking forward to welcoming individuals in that segment. It's not too late to register. So if you think that this program is going to be beneficial to you or someone whom you know, you can refer them to visit us. Healthy weight loss with a plant-based diet. So looking at diet, and when it comes to weight loss, we know that exercise play a key role, getting our body moving, and sleep, getting rest, low stress, and a number of other factors, just having social connection, all of those. But we're looking predominantly here at food and how we can eat in a healthful manner to achieve a healthy weight. If you look on the picture, I mean, this is what can make up your basket in your grocery shopping. Lots of fruits and vegetables and the grains and the legumes. And you come home and you prepare these things and eat them up. And it's going to be helpful to you. So know your weight, know what your ideal weight should be. If you get a hold of this chart, and I did put it into our WhatsApp support group for our Monday Night Live. So once it went in there, you were able to look for your height, then look for, what weight you should be. Try to stay within the green band. Depending on your height, you just look in the green and see what your BMI should be like, and then you look. But if you look at your height and then you look for your weight and it's like in the 170, come down. That could be like in the yellow. All right. So it goes both sides. So how do I get started? I did mention to you that you want to follow the recommendation of eating a whole food plant-based diet, and we'll delve deeper into that. And take a record of what you're eating on a day-by-day basis, taking note of your food on your plate, your menu. Because if you were to come by me for weight loss for a consultation, I'll be interested in knowing what you usually eat for the past 7 days, previous 7 days. Just tell me everything that you ate, even snacks. And with that, you can get a pretty good idea about what's normal for you and then help you to understand why your diet may or may not be contributing to certain situations that you're experiencing, and then how could we go about making adjustments, even with some of the foods that you're accustomed to eating, reworking that in a healthy way so that you don't feel like you've given up everything. That there might be still some things for you to hold on and keep. Now we want to use, as I showed you, grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables that provide that provides the nutrition that we need, and they provide all the food elements that we need in order to keep us healthy. Have no fear. So what are I want to ask a question and you can unmute yourself to respond or put it in the chat. Tell me, what are some key items that we have heard about that we really need in our diet, but as a plant eater, it brings about much concern. So what are some key items that brings a concern once you say that you're going on a total plant diet? Does anybody have an idea? Let's see what's coming
Sorry,
up.
repeat the question again.
Okay, so there are some key food elements that we will think of. Once you say that you're going on a total plant diet, people have certain fears that they may not get these key nutrients. So what are some of those?
B12
Yes, that's right.
and the
Uh,
protein.
Protein and B12, vitamin B12. Okay, any other?
Soya.
Uh-huh. Sometimes folks think, well, yeah, they must have soy. Good. Any other? I'm looking for another one. It starts with O.
What?
It starts with O, another nutrient that we need. And it starts with an O.
Omega
Okay.
3.
Yes, that's it. Okay, so the omega-3 fatty acids. All right, excellent. So let's have a look as to where we can get these items. Uh, in our grains, we have different types of grains that we can have here. And this was covered in our last session, so I don't want to stay on it, but just to highlight, and grains would be our whole wheat, pasta, oatmeal, corn, millet, quinoa, brown rice, any of those grain items, and the legumes, a variety of legumes. Let's not forget things like navy beans, pinto beans, pigeon peas, a whole range of them. And that replaces the protein that we would now seek to avoid, such as the meat and the dairy. Fruits, a wide variety. We can think of tropical fruits like the mangoes, soursop, sapodilla, and bananas, or, in the other countries, temperate countries, we have the peaches and grapes and apples. Vegetables, we have a wide variety of greens, green leafy, but there's a difference with our vegetables that think we don't have it here. We have our non-starchy vegetables, such as the leafy greens, like your lettuce, your spinach, your celery, your parsley, but cabbage. But then you have your starchy vegetables, which would fall into that category, like your potatoes, eddos, yam. So those we want to watch, and those can go into the carbohydrate segment of the plate, but we need to watch that when it comes to losing the weight. All right, because of the high glucose content in it, that can cause higher glucose in your bloodstream, and your fat cells may say, let me keep that sugar for you. And there you find a lot of people throughout the Caribbean putting on a lot of weight because they're eating a lot of these root vegetables, and that's not good for them. So we need to have the mix. When it comes to nuts and seeds, we want a small portion on a daily basis. And this is where we stopped at our last session here on nuts. So our nuts and seeds, what are some of the nuts that you know of that you may have had today? Let's hear them. What are some of the nuts?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Nuts and seeds. Give me examples of nuts and seeds.
Almonds,
Oh,
chia seeds,
walnut, sunflower seed,
pumpkin. Yeah,
Cashew
pumpkin
nut.
seed.
Cashew nuts,
Brazil nuts,
cashew
Yeah.
nuts,
Cashew.
pecans,
Almond nut.
macadamia nuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts.
Uh-huh. And
Pecan.
great. Okay, wonderful. And so those are examples. And so open your hand for me. Put some nuts inside of there. Like earlier today, I had some pecans. And then close the hand, close it so that you have a closed handful, nothing falling out. And that's the amount you want to have that you can have at the end of your breakfast, at the end of your lunch meal, not this evening meal. So if we did that for our nuts, our seeds, or a mix of them, a closed handful at the end of our meal. Okay, so next we want to look at our condiments and spices that would come up. So when we think about condiments, you would know like your ketchup, your salad dressings. Do you know that those things have ingredients in them that can, even oils, that can cause us to put on excess weight? They have ingredients in them that can cause chemical reactions within our body and cause us to feel sick, or cause us to have an elevation in our blood pressure, blood sugar. From a chemical perspective, it's a liquid. a dressing, a salad dressing, but it can have an impact on us. It might be a simple powder that you add to your cooking of a healthy meal, healthy vegetables, but the little powders on that can cause us to be unwell. Do you know any powder that you could add or that may be in your spice item that you may be adding to your food? Any powder, what is that? It's a particular powder, and it starts with an M.
Yeah.
Mhm. MSG, I would spare you guys. It feels like we're working Scrabble here today with these letters. But MSG, monosodium glutamate, monosodium bicarbonate, and that tends to be in our powders or spice powders, or what you're adding to your food to season your pot and give it flavor. And that is harmful to our brain cells and to our brain stem, so that you may get an instant headache. I've known of individuals where their blood pressure will really go high, and then you find that you're feeling unwell in this pulsation in your head or aches in your muscles, and you're just not feeling good. But it very well might be a seasoning added to the food and that you put or somebody else who cooked for you. Or many times when we purchase food, we have no idea what's added into that preparation of the food that is harming us. Similarly, for the salad dressings and the ketchup, vinegar is another item. Pickled foods, they tend to cause weakened bones and teeth, anemia. They can lead to individuals having skin rashes because of, toxins to their blood. Vinegar. And many times it's used to give a particular flavor. But that's the kind of impact it has on our body. It can cause your teeth, dental enamel to erode. And once that takes place, then your teeth is weakened and you're more prone for cavities. So these are things that we don't really think about, but then we face real life challenges and not understanding that what we put into our food can be harming us. There are individuals who we might be drinking coffee or tea, and that's caffeinated tea and coffee, and that in itself it's not good for our nervous system. And so we're always agitated, anxious, and spicy when it comes to interacting with individuals where we're like, not responding in a way that is quite peaceful. So we're looking to pick a fight at many times, and therefore we want to watch that caffeine. Caffeine will also keep many awake at night, or if they do sleep, have difficulty to go back to sleep. So we got to watch that and make better choices. We have herbal teas that you can drink that might be calming if you needed one to be calming, such as chamomile, lavender, passion flower, or lemon balm are quite calming. Soursop leaf, it's quite calming to the nervous system. And these things are also helpful for pain in the body because it just calms down those pain receptors. And when it comes to beverages, we want to avoid alcohol, and that comes with numerous risks for deranging our hormones and causing individuals to get cancer. And we have dairy, food and dairy drinks that we may be ingesting, again, another hormone disruptor. And that, especially our ladies and even our men, I always like to alert our men that dairy tends to spur cancer growth. Yeah, in the prostate. Dairy tends to spur the enlargement of our prostate gland and animal foods as well. And where you have other hormones in them, such as in the chicken, but then you have the other animal foods. You could be eating goat, you can be eating fish. I've known of individuals and men who would eat fish and every other vegetable, but that was enough to cause their prostate gland to be enlarged. It just loves to fatten these things. And sugar. Sugar is quite a toxic element to our cells in our body. It really weakens them, sometimes can be damaging to our cells. It can account for fatigue that we might be feeling. And especially for someone who is looking to lose weight, if you are tired, you would not readily go out to be walking and exercising as you should. And let's get on natural sweeteners. And I do have a dessert for you today that entails a natural sweetener that you can enjoy. Olive oil can be used, but sparingly, or even better yet, eat olives. Add that to your salads. Here at the center, we love to serve up lettuce and with some black olives on that. And it's quite tasty. And if you got a nice sunflower seed dressing to that, it's like delicious. And folks who just want to eat and eat more. So those are ways, again, let's make our own dressing. And I do have a dressing recipe for you today that you can put on your items that you prepare and make it quite tasty. So when it comes to portion sizes and losing weight, I like to say, let's make sure we eat enough for your portion size, not less, because we don't want the body to run into nutrient deficiency. We don't want malnutrition to step in because we're trying to conserve and not eat and not doing it well. So it's good to know your portion sizes. So usually you can use the palm of your hand to estimate a portion of an orange or a grapefruit or a piece of watermelon, a slice of watermelon, depending on the length and the width. Could it fit in the palm of my hand? What about a banana? Can a banana be encircled by my entire palm, or do I need two hands to encircle that banana? And so that's what you look at. Portion sizes could be a little bit more discreet than that. For example, half cup of beans, and peas and beans will be a portion size when you're thinking about your legumes. Similarly, for your grains, half cup, measuring cup. When it comes to your vegetables, 1 whole cup for your vegetables. And if you're having pumpkin, eggplant in your meal, 1 whole cup will go for that. But then we have the plate that we would look at for our portion sizes. Fiber is important as opposed to using refined foods that can cause us to increase glucose in the bloodstream and just feed our fat cells. So the more fiber we have in our diet, it's better, it's healthier, it keeps us full for longer and help us to avoid snacking in between our meals. So if you had sufficient fiber in your breakfast, in your lunch meal, and a balanced plate, a really good balanced plate that had different foods on there, then you will not be hungry by the evening, that hungry to have want another big plate. You would rather want something small. And therefore, let's look to make sure that at our meal, especially for breakfast and especially for lunch meal, that we can see the fiber on that plate, that we can see our legumes for protein on that plate. We also want to look for calorie density. So again, making sure it has sufficient fiber. So if you were to eat cornflakes, you'd feel hungry quite soon. But if you were to eat oatmeal, the rolled oats or the oat groat that you prepared, you're going to be full as compared to if you did instant oats. Yeah, instant oats is more refined. So even though it's the same oat grain, so you're looking for fiber substance that will bulk up in your digestive tract and feed you and keep you satisfied. In certain foods, you also have water content, micronutrient content, and they're lower in fat. And so we want to be quite choosy with our foods that we consume. When it comes to calorie density, here you can have a really good picture of what we're looking at. If you were to have French fries that's loaded with oils, that might help you to feel satisfied for the moment, but that's going to go away. And then look at the stomach, pretty empty, isn't it? You're going to be hungry in a short space of time, and therefore you would find yourself snacking or looking for some more food to eat. Again, say you had cheese, a cheese sandwich, and you ate up that, and you think I'm good. But it's a cheese sandwich, so the bread in itself, it's refined flour, and the cheese might keep you okay, satisfied for the moment. But look, much of the stomach still needed more food. What about individuals eating meat? That tends to make you think, I'm good, but still, it's not satisfying for long term. The idea is many times, depending on what we eat, may not hold us out until our next meal time. I just want to let you know that next meal time should be at least 5 hours later. 5 hours later, not 2 hours or 3 hours, because you will end up having digestive problems. So if we were to eat meat and there's still some room to take in more, it's very likely that you'll be hungry soon. What about all the grains and the bread and the pastries and the cookies and all of that? Yummy. Yeah, and we eat and we eat. I think I'm good. But especially with the holiday season coming up, let's make sure we get that fiber in our food and not fall on the wayside, just consuming lots of snacks. People would eat and eat and eat because these things are refined and they tend to go away quite easily when you have refined. However, when you have grains and beans that have the fiber in them, they're more whole. And that's why, though we say plant-based, like potato chips is plant-based, but then it is refined and it's processed, and it could possibly have sodium, salt with it. That's not healthy for us in the big picture. So when it comes even to our grains and our beans, let it be whole food. You take up a potato, it's the whole potato that you're eating as opposed to one that's really processed. You can actually slice your potatoes and bake it. If it has the skin, it's even better. You can take your potatoes and steam it, and it's all steamed and it's nice skin and everything that you can eat. However, there's so many other kinds of grains that we can eat and beans that has fiber and density. So lentils, brown lentils are quite regular in many plates. and they're easy to cook, and they tend to satisfy you well. But there are some lighter lentils, like the yellow lentil or the red lentils. And if you look at them closely, they don't really have much fiber on them. And you would cook it, tasting good, but it may not take you out for long in terms of being satisfied and full. So watch what we are having. Have beans that's more dense, like your red bean, your black beans. Those are going to be good for you. Oh, garbanzo beans, they're more filling. Fruits and vegetables, look at this. You can eat so much fruits and vegetables and feel satisfied. You are getting a lot of nutrients, but the calorie content in this is low. Calorie content in your fruits and vegetables low. Calorie content in your grains and beans are lower. So you're not adding on a whole lot of calories to put on excess weight, but yet you are satisfied and not going to find yourself snacking. So in our grains, our beans, our nuts and seeds, our fruits and vegetables, when we eat these things in combination, all right, it's not like we're going to eat rice alone, brown rice alone, but in combination, it tends to keep us satisfied. Okay. All right, and let's see. Increased satiety, once you are on a whole food, plant-based diet, when you sit to eat, you're sitting and saying, I'm having lettuce, I'm eating lettuce. You know what you have on your plate, so you could identify it as opposed to something that's processed. You may not be able to say what it is. So it's whole, it's the real food, real satisfaction. And once you eat sufficient, your stomach, when it is full, will signal to your brain, I'm full, you can stop now, and you'd be good for the next 5 hours. So we want to, when you think about losing weight, let us not go for lower volumes of food that would not keep us satisfied for long, that has higher amounts of calories. As you increase the volume, the quantity, and in so doing, we can actually eat, be satisfied, just like that plant foods, and yet not have additional calories. So the meat, poultry, fish, eggs, the milk, the dairy milk, yogurt and cheese and cream cheese and sour cream and butter and all of those we want to avoid. Let's remove them from our diet. And when we removing the dairy, you may want an almond milk in its place. And when you're removing the cheese, you may say, well, let me have some tofu or make a veggie cheese. And you start chasing us to show you how to do that. And if you did, then it would be healthier for you. Fried foods, we want to avoid that. Fried onion rings and donuts are loaded with oil, refined flour, and sugar. So you want to leave that alone. Oh, by the way, for those who are in Trinidad and Tobago and some countries of the Caribbean, you know about doubles. Yeah, we want to avoid the doubles. The doubles, it's fried. It's like a flour, more tender bake that's fried. And then you put garbanzo beans on it or chana peas on it. Good. But it's can be quite fattening, and we want to avoid that. Okay, so we did talk about protein. Individuals are really scared when going on a total plant diet. Where am I going to get my protein from? And where am I going to get my calcium from if I don't drink animal milk? Well, I just want to show you a creature that has lots of protein and lots of calcium and is a plant-based eater. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Which creature carries protein and calcium, supplying it to us, but yet it's a vegetarian?
Cow?
A plant.
Cow.
Yes. You're correct. The cows, the cattle. Very good. So I always like to say, well, where did a cow get its calcium from? Where did it get the protein from? You want to drink the dairy milk? It's getting it firsthand from the grass. So the green leafy vegetables take note. God said in his word, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, that there are lots of lessons we can learn in nature. And by the way, human beings are like the only species that drinks another species, another creature's milk. You know, the cow don't go to the goat, or the goat doesn't go to the cow. But humans, we tend to go to the animals to drink their milk. But the thing is, in the green leafy, they're making calcium. They are making lots more protein, and they eat. They could be grazing all day, which is could be intemperate for us to follow that, but we can get our calcium and our protein firsthand. So the green leafy will give us our calcium intake. So you're looking at your spinach and your lettuce, arugula, collard greens, the dashing bush leaves and the potato leaves and other that we may have. And then we have our protein. Yeah, we on an average, women need about 46 grams of protein per day, and the average man needs about 56 grams of protein per day. And we can get adequate amounts when we have our legumes, vegetables, legumes, and grains. They contain this amount and even more. Listen to this. If you have grains, such as oats, corn, or brown rice, grain, and you can have in your meal in a day, you can have your peas and your bean. Having that together within a day will give us sufficient amino acids to make protein. Yeah. If you had grain and you come up on your plate and you have vegetables just within a day, may not be at the same meal, but just within a day, you come up with your vegetables, you will have sufficient amino acids, the building block for protein. And that can help us to make protein for our bodies. So we also can look at the lentils, the beans, and quinoa is another item that is a grain in itself, and at the same pseudo grain, it's more seed-like structure, and so quinoa is loaded with protein. And I like to, sometimes individuals want to make like a protein drink. I would say add some cooked quinoa to that blend. You're blending fruits and you want something. You put a handful of nuts in there, and you can add some cooked quinoa and get some protein in that way. I've done that with individuals who've come here at the center. I had someone recently who was challenged with eating much, not eating up much. And I said, okay, let's work on you and get you some protein. And quinoa was one of those in the base. And then I added some other things and did a blend. And he just spooned it in. All right, so our plant-based protein we have in our nuts, our seeds, our grains. Soybean is the #1 source of protein as a single food item in and of itself, soybean. And we can have that in the form of tofu, edamame, or the soybean itself, soy milk. Those are ways in which we can get protein. You want to have substitution, so changing out animal milk, even if it's low fat, out for a plant-based milk. You want to change out your chicken and meat type items for something that is more wholesome and plant-based. So here we may have tofu, you can have some grains in there. And you want to change your burger in from a meat burger and French fries. Look at this, right? And have more of these nice items here that's loaded with water, lycopene, and juicy and tasty, and eat a nice, healthful plant-based burger instead. So there are quite a number of things out in the market that we can obtain or even make or plant ourselves. When it comes to calcium, where can we get calcium? I mentioned the green leafies, such as your cabbage. Broccoli is good. And kale, collard greens, or dasheen, or some societies call it taro leaves, mustard greens, and collard greens. Our beans, you can get some calcium in there, as well as figs. B12, this is what we mentioned as individuals having a need for B12. And basically, humans, we make our B12 in our gut. So if you have nice, healthy gut digestion, we can have B12. However, we can make it ourselves. However, we may be challenged by that. And especially as we get older, we have a greater need for B12. So like individuals, if you're in your 50s, you would need B12. And therefore, if you're taking metformin, that can also increase your need for B12. So supplement, let's take a nice supplement, about 100 milligrams per day will do as well. Or sometimes you get supplements in higher values. You can take that every other day for your B12. B12 is really good for energy, for nerve conduction. Sometimes individuals have heart palpitation, nerve issues going on, and they may be B12 deficient. B12 deficiency anemia is another thing that exists. And so we want to make sure that we are adequate with our B12. It's a common blood test that you can do, or just, be mindful if you're on a total plant diet, and let's just take a supplement. And some additional considerations, we want to watch as we make changes to our diet, consider our medication that may cause low blood sugar or low blood pressure. You may be on a med because you're hypertensive or you're diabetic. And because of that, now you're making a change with your diet and with your lifestyle. You're exercising more, sleeping early, drinking lots more water. What do you think is going to happen? The disease condition is going to be changed. Your body now is changing, and your condition starts to be impacted. Your blood pressure can reduce and your blood sugar can reduce. Well, what do you do with the medication? Go back to your doctor, get a notebook, and record every morning. Take your blood pressure reading every morning. Take your blood sugar. Stick your finger, write it down, date, time, value. And you keep it down on one nice book, and your doctor will be able to follow and see the trend for what is happening, the change. I've done some changes. I've made changes to my diet and to my lifestyle, and I'm getting better numbers now. And I soon, if not already, I'm within the normal range. So what you got to do is to alert your healthcare provider as to what your readings are at home so they can adjust and lower your medication. Wouldn't that be great? And one day soon, they will adjust and take you off your medication. That would be even fantastic because you might be aware that these medication comes with side effects. They're going to lower your blood pressure, lower your blood sugar, but do other things to the body that you may not like. So we want to watch the amount of medication we take. It would need adjusting over time. So putting it into practice, doesn't this food look good? It's all plant-based. Look at the colors, you can play around with that. So this is a nice food plate here filled with options. And water will be our choice beverage to drink. And we have half of the plate, then we do the other with 1/4 of the carbs, 1/4 of the carbs, 1/4 of the protein, half you put either fruit or vegetables on that segment. So breakfast, here are examples for breakfast. Many times we're not sure, we're skipping breakfast. So if you want to lose weight and maintain good healthy weight, let us ensure we eat our breakfast. If you skip it, you miss it. Wait to the next meal, because if not, you might be snacking, and that's not a good thing to do. So we want to eat a healthy breakfast. Have your choice. It might be a hot cereal, maybe some oatmeal, some cream of wheat, something made like some rice cereal. And then we have some fiber that we want to put in there. You might add some oat bran. Those who would want to have oat bran to it. Or it might be the whole oat that you're having, and that's even better. But then by having your non-dairy milk, your plant-based milk, and then you've got your fruits and that can be natural sweetener as opposed to adding sugar of any sort. And so your mangoes, you top it up with your mangoes, or you eat those things up front as well. And then you have some that you sprinkle on your plate. And melons, we want to, with breakfast, you can have your breakfast with a fruit, cantaloupe, honeydew, any other fruit of choice. Some may opt for toasted bread, and toast your bread so it's nice and crispy and dry. The more dry the bread is, the easier it is for digestion. And then you may put on that bread some peanut butter, almond butter, sunflower seed butter. You can make your own, can blend up almonds. It doesn't have to look like the peanut butter, but you can just simply blend it and make a flavored paste. Either you want it sweet or you want it savory. You can take hummus or any other bean, if it's the garbanzo or chana bean. If it's a red bean, you can blend that, put some seasonings with it. You can do some roasted potatoes. Can get your potatoes, scrub them up nicely, and then wrap it. We do like greaseproof paper. You can wrap and put that in your oven to bake it. Cassava, yam, and that can go along with a nice portion of peas and beans and with your fruit. And breakfast and food need not be complicated. They're quite adventurous and exciting once we start putting the meals together. Now, for our lunchtime, we want to eat an equally delicious meal. You may have a salad put together. Some places you get nice garden salads that's ready done with a butter leaf and oak leaf and lettuce and so on. The spring salads, or you may simply just have lettuce. And then if you added that along with, this is another salad, the tree bean, chickpea, lentils, or black beans, and with some corn in there, that can be delicious as well. So it doesn't have to be any big set of complicated items for putting the meals together. These are so many options that we can have. Quinoa can go as a carbohydrate item along with your legume, and tomatoes, cucumbers on the side as a salad as well. Soups, maybe you feel like it's cold outside and you want a soup. We have great options: pumpkin soup, vegetable soup, lentil soups. Make sure that the soups are not like broths. You want them to be creamy. And how do we get creamy? You can make your soup, but take any item in the soup itself, blend it, and add it back to the soup. It might be carrots. Literally prepare that you have probably steamed some carrots and you blend that and put it back into the soup and you make it thick and nice. Why thick? Because if our soup had more water and less of solids, it would be as if we're drinking and eating at the same meal time, and then you belch. You know, you got some liquid going on there, and it's going to cause indigestion, bloating, gas formation, because your stomach is very dignified. It would say, good, let me absorb some liquid first before I go to process and digest the solid. And so food can remain in the stomach way too long. We also have some sandwiches with fillers in them, or even wraps that you may make, a whole wheat wrap, a corn tortilla, and you can just fill that with some tofu, avocado, put some black beans in there. That sounds yummy already. Or put some lettuce and shredded carrots and beets and put a nice salad dressing with that, and you can have many options to consume. Okay, so basically, total plant diet is what will work for individuals when it comes to losing the weight. That is important. Added to that, we need to walk. Let us walk. And you can do, the more you put in, the more you're going to get rewards. So if we walk at least an hour, one continuous hour, early morning, preferably, if you want to lose the weight, early morning before consuming any food, before eating breakfast, will help us to lose that weight, because the body is going to pull that energy from our fat cells. Yeah, you don't have any glucose coming in because of food. So if you're looking to lose the weight early morning before breakfast, ideal time for walking. Get up early. Let's make it happen. And then you can also walk again in the afternoon. But one continuous hour will do us great. Do we have any questions based on those recommendations? You're still doubtful? Want clarity on anything? Okay, so let's go into the recipe for this week. And in the US, they're celebrating Thanksgiving this week. And maybe you're there and wondering what you could prepare. And this is a nice item that we all can prepare and partake of. And it's a Thanksgiving bean loaf. So, lots of times folks have their turkey on the table, so you can show up with your bean loaf. And so we're looking for 4.5 cups of water, and we're putting this in a pot, okay? Then you have 1 medium onion, chop it up. So my advice would be look through the ingredients, have them, purchase them. And when you're ready to make, get your little bowls or plates and put everything out on the counter for you. Cut things. Great. We have 1 cup of grated pumpkin, any other item that or 1/2 cup of any vegetables that we may want to add. And then you have sweet basil, thyme, oregano, Italian seasonings, garlic powder, our salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So if you put all of those things neatly on the counter, it would help us to be quite efficient in putting it together. And you can have fun. Just take your time and do it. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. I think I want to do this weekend. And then we have a natural sweetener, maybe a molasses can be added to that, again, coming in for flavor. And 2 cups of cooked beans. We want the beans to be cooked, and you can have mixed beans, 1 cup each of 2 different types of beans. And next you have 3.5 cups of quick oats. And this is toasted quick oats and 1 cup of regular oats. Okay, so all of these, you have them in containers. Where are they? On the counter. And then we're ready to put it together. We are going to saute. That's why you put the water in the pot, and all of your seasonings or your vegetables, your pumpkin maybe, whatever it is, you put it in there. It could be carrots, it could be broccoli, it could be cauliflower. You put it in there and you saute. So it's getting the flavor, it's marinating the veggie so that when you come with your dry ingredients, it helps to taste good. So all your salt, everything, you put it in that water and you bring it to a boiling point. Now it's going to be baked, so you don't have to get it all done mushy. Just want to bring it to a boiling point. And then you add your oats. So because the water is hot, once you add your oats, that's going to bind. And if you did the molasses, you're going to get a dark colored loaf, okay, because the oats is white. So if you add it now to the seasonings, which would have taken on some color from the water there, taking on a color, but you add the oats and you keep stirring. Don't let it rest. You stir it around to blend in with those chopped up vegetable items you have and the seasonings. And then rest it on the side. Let it rest a while for about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. So it cools down and it's getting clammy. It's holding together. You want to put that out into a bread pan or a Pyrex dish of choice. You pour that out into there, and then we're going to bake it. So you're baking it anywhere for 30 to 40 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Simple. And then you got your wonderful bean loaf. Now, what are we going to top it with? Let's take a brown sauce. So you have 1/2 cup of tomato paste or tomato sauce. And then you have 1/2 cup of finely chopped onions, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. You mince them up. 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of blackstrap molasses, 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey or sweetener of choice, and 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, oregano, and marjoram, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric, which would be anti-inflammatory, which would be great for our individuals who would lose the weight, and a 1/2 cup of water. And you want to stir all that around. Make sure it's to the desired consistency that you're looking for. You don't want a watery sauce, okay? You want it to be thickened up. So as you work that on the heat and it starts to dry down a bit, it's going to come more thick. By the time you refrigerate that, it's going to thicken up again. So you put the onion, the garlic in the water, saute it till it's tender, add your tomato paste and the other ingredients. And then you boil that. You put the heat down low so you can blend those flavors and you can literally get a nice pulpy consistency for your dressing to top your loaf, your bean loaf. You can brush this brown sauce on tofu. If you purchase tofu for your meal, you can simply slice it like little rectangle pieces. Put that in the oven. You could sprinkle a little salt in it. Put it in the oven on a baking tray and let that bake, and then you can take this sauce and dress it afterward. While you bake the tofu in the oven, it gives it a nice crispy finish all around. So yeah, and this sauce can be stored in the refrigerator, and it can just make your holidays sparkle. And one thing I want to mention, as I mentioned, lemon here and turmeric. Those are two things that can help individuals to lose weight. So making turmeric tea and drinking that, or simply adding it to some almond milk and you drink it. And then you also do the lemon water in the morning, warm water when you wake up, and you have warm water, add 1 teaspoon, 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon juice to that, and you drink it. Always use a straw when drinking lemon to protect your teeth enamel, but lemon can help you to burn some of that weight off. Okay, many times individuals, you might have heard that they would use vinegar to lose weight. Lemon is the better option that you can use, lemon juice. And for your dessert, for the sweet tooth, you can have some dates, which are highly nutritious in fiber, iron, and other phytochemicals. Dates, and what's inside of that? A nice almond nut. So you just slice open the date and you take an almond, put it in, and you close the date. That is quick and easy to put together, but quite delicious when it comes to the table. You can put any other nut of choice. You can put pecans, walnuts, something that's quite nutty, and with this all wrapped up in sweet, and it can be helpful too. Okay, so our scripture text for the week, I have graven thee, the Lord is saying, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Thy walls are continually before me. So we are so precious to the Lord that he has us in the palm of his hands. Anywhere you go in the world, you take your hand with you. Yeah, your palm goes with you. And so we are always present with the Lord. So he has us before him at all times. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, so someone is saying, yes, sprinkle that dates with some dried coconut. Yeah, that's a great option. Dried coconut, you grate it. Okay.
Dr.
So
Nash,
thank you. Yes.
Dr. Nash, I have a question, please, about the vitamin B12.
Yes.
You mentioned that we should take that if we are on a plant-based diet. What
Mhm.
is your my vitamin B2? I've been on as you know, I've been on a plant-based diet now for years. And every year when I have my physical, I make sure I have them check that. And it's
Mhm.
always been within the range, midway within the range. Should I still take additional vitamin B12, although it's
No,
midway?
you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Once it is within the range, you're fine. That means
Okay.
that your digestion is working well, that your gut is producing B12 for you, that you're eating nice leafy vegetables like your lettuce in the soil has B12, so you get it through the food. That also means that you're digesting your protein well. That aids in the production of B12. So your system is working really well for you. You're in range, and that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. So any other questions? Okay, so just as a reminder, we do have our cancer support group meeting this Thursday, and that is on another Zoom link. So do look out in the chats for that one. and make sure to join that class this session coming up. We had some questions on diet in our chat and for the cancer support, and I did promise that I'll share some more on it. So based on the questions, but we also have some other content to share with you. Okay, so any other questions, hands up, comments? I'll put the WhatsApp information for the cancer support group. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We are celebrating or enjoying the harvest feast this Thursday. So I am thankful for the recipe that you gave me today.
Okay, you're welcome, Sister James. All right. Yeah, I did think of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. And just let us know how it came across,
I will.
Yeah, it's one that we have done here at our center with our guests as part of the food demo. So, all right,
Okay,
everyone.
I will let you know.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I see a raised hand. Did it go down?
Okay. Hi, good night. If a person who's on metformin and it has side effects, does that person still have to take metformin?
Yeah, if you are on metformin and you're having side effects, then you're sounding like you're not interested in the metformin. You have options, you have choices. And so that's what our diabetes group will be on. And just looking for our diabetes group.
Is
So
berberine better than metformin?
berberine is excellent.
Yes.
And for those who are in our diabetes support group today, just earlier today, I did share, content there. I did share as to what we can use. Did I put the berberine? Let me see. I know I was looking at berberine and another one, Gymnema sylvestri. Yeah, and I put that in the chat. No, Gymnema sylvestri. So Gymnema sylvestri is one that I put, and that's also helpful. I have it. I could just show you guys quickly. And now I'd put it on a PowerPoint, right? So berberine, and the better brand is the Now brand. Oh, I don't have the picture of the berberine, but the berberine brand is the Now brand that can be used to lower the glucose in the bloodstream. And then we have the Gymnema sylvestri. Oh, looking for my screen. Right, the Gymnema sylvestri, that is another option for us. So I did put this in the chat earlier today. So that's the Now brand there. And you see how it helped to lower the glucose levels, especially after you eat. You don't want that glucose to go really high. And Gymnema is another option that can be used in place of the metformin. Okay. Even for individuals with diabetes type 1, I did put that note in the chat that Gymnema sylvestri will help the body to be more insulin receptive and to produce more beta cells to produce insulin for the body. And it helps to protect the pancreas as well. Yep. Oh, that's something else. Okay. So there we go. Thank you, everyone. And we can close out with the word of prayer now. Hello, Sister Angel Filbert. I see you. All right, let's have a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for our session today, reminding us that your diet, your food that you have given to us works for so many conditions, every condition that we have, that there are ample food items that we can utilize, even the herbal agents. And we pray too that as we apply, that we will have our testimonies and that your name would be glorified. Be with everyone here. Continue to bless them for their efforts in improving their health and sharing it with someone else. And be with us until we meet again. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Do have a blessed evening.
Same to you. Night.
Good night.